As a small business owner, have you ever felt overwhelmed by the pressure of choosing the right hire or leading a team? Or have you ever found yourself tolerating a bad hire because you fear trying and failing again as you repeat the hiring process? If so, you're not alone, and you are in the right place. Welcome to the Growing Your Team podcast. The Growing Your Team podcast teaches business owners like you to expand your unique business by teaching you to master the hiring and team management process. Hiring and managing a team does not have to be a challenge. You just have to learn to do it right. And the Growing Your Team podcast teaches you how to become a confident leader who hires right every single time. Now, let's jump into the show where each episode you will learn tips on how to identify what type of help you need on your team, how to source amazing candidates, how to conduct interviews that lead you to your ideal team member, how to onboard successfully, and how to lead every person in your business so you have a team of rock stars who you are happy to pay every single paycheck. So let's jump in and teach you how to hire like a pro. Hello, Jamie Van Cuyk here, and welcome back to the Growing Your Team podcast. All right, today I want to talk to you about a decision I recently made in my business around hiring when it comes to allowing myself to fully understand if I can hire an employee. So one of the things that I know a lot of business owners experience is that kind of almost like sticker shock when it comes to getting people to help you on your team. Even if you have someone that's only helping you a few hours a week, that hourly rate can feel like it adds up quickly. And I know for myself, I got into this horrible cycle where I would tell myself, when I get the next contract, I will hire someone to help me with recruiting. Now, a few years ago, I had a fabulous team member that was helping me with recruiting. Recruiting kept increasing in my business. I hired another team member to actually help me with more hours in recruiting. If you haven't listened to those episodes of the podcast about that change, I needed someone more hours. My first team member couldn't give more hours, and then also got a wonderful full-time opportunity that would make it so she actually really couldn't give me any hours around the same time that I was identifying that I needed someone for more hours. So ended up parting ways with the first team member and bringing on the second team member to help me. So I fully understood the benefits of someone helping me with this work. There were things that happened in my personal life that made it so I actually reduced the number of recruiting projects I was taking on at a time for a while, and as a result, let that team member go. But my intention always was to refill that position. I just needed some time and everything to then be able to ramp back up that recruiting side. But then I found myself stuck in the cycle that many business owners get stuck in. I'll do it with the next project. I'll do it next quarter. I'll do it next month. As the saying goes, the cobbler's children never has shoes. I can talk all day about the value of delegating, and I can support other business owners understand their needs in their business, help them get the right team member, but then keep putting my own hiring needs on the back burner because I'm too busy helping other people. And so I finally realized I was reaching this point in my business where when it came to the recruiting projects specifically, I couldn't continue taking on additional projects because of the fact that I only had so much time per week, per month to work on these projects. Because as the business owner, I still needed to do other things in my business versus being a full-time recruiter. The problem with that was I needed to grow my revenue in my business. I needed to grow my income. So it was kind of this one thing of realizing I can't do all these projects myself anymore. I need the team members that are going to help support these projects. with growing your team right now, I'm still the main point of contact for all of my clients, but to have someone in the back end help schedule the interviews and do some of the administrative work when it comes to recruiting, I know is a huge help and something that I really needed. What I caught myself doing was looking at the money I had left over at the end of every month in my bank account based on what was coming in, and kept telling myself, oh, I don't know, it feels too tight. It feels too tight. I don't know. What if something happens? What if I get an unexpected expense? Is it worth it? Can I push it off? And all those questions that I've heard so many business owners say when it comes to being able to afford new team members or being able to give new team members raises and things like that. I decided to take the advice that a number of our financial people have shared on this podcast and other people I know, and start breaking down the cost of my services. That's one of the things that, sometimes we'll say, if you need to hire team members and the cost of your service doesn't help pay for those team members, are the cost of your services correct? Meaning, sometimes as business owners, we don't pay ourselves a fair wage for completing the work that we do. If we had a team member that was doing this work, would they be able to get a fair wage? So I really looked at that. And one of the things that I determined was I more than could afford a team member to perform these services based off of the cost of the service. Especially considering I'd be having an admin level team member help me and not going and hiring some executive level recruiter to help me with these projects. Because I was going to fill a role based off of what I needed within that role. So as I started thinking about that, and I really looked at what I brought in for each project, how many hours it would take a team member to support this project. So with recruiting, our first few weeks have the most work, and then it kind of dwindles from there as we get into fewer interviews, because most interviews are within those first few weeks. As we move into just coordinating interviews for our clients and handling some of that candidate communication, the work dwindles down. So if I really looked at to say, this project brings in X amount of dollars, this project requires X amount of hours of work, this project requires X amount of work from the admin level, hiring a team member was a no-brainer. When I looked at that team member as an essential expense to complete that work, I could more than afford it. But when I looked at that expense of a team member as the last thing, the last priority when it came to expenses in my business, that's when I started to doubt myself. So one of the things that I encourage you when we're thinking about can we afford team members is, one, if you're not good with your numbers, go talk to an accountant, a fractional team member, or anyone that can really help you evaluate what's actually going on in your numbers. But when we look at can we afford our team, and this team is essential to be able to do the work that we're doing today or continue to be able to grow in the way that we want to grow, prioritize that team member first. Look at them as one of the necessary expenses to complete that service or to create that product. Obviously, with some businesses, there's also other costs to completing that service, whether that's inventory, supplies, things like that. There's other costs to performing the services that are non-negotiable costs, that if you are going to do X service, you need Y cost. But start looking at your team as one of those required costs. Really break it down. How much time does a team member need to put in to complete this service, to create this product? Okay, can I afford it? Because some of those other business expenses that sometimes, at least I found myself prioritizing, are the ones that are a little bit more flexible. I might love my project management tool, for example, but do I need to have that project management tool in order for my business to be successful? Possibly, but there's a lot of options with tools. There's a lot of even things you can do for free for project management that could work. And that's just an example. Another example of an unnecessary expense that sometimes we could prioritize is, like, this is a personal example for myself, an office. I had an out of the house office and then realized that I was only going there because I had it and not because I needed it. I didn't meet with clients in person. So why did I have that expense? But for the longest time, I prioritized that expense over a team member because of just the way I looked at things. So I really want you to challenge yourself. If you're in that spot where you're trying to figure out, can you afford a team member? Can you not? Look at your cost of your services or the cost of your products. Look at what it would cost you to hire a team member to support this. And like I said, when you look at it, look at how many hours goes into producing this service or doing this service. How many hours goes into creating this individual product? And then factor in that cost from there. You might find out that when you prioritize a team member, that cost is more than affordable. And when you have that team that's supporting you, you're able to do the higher level work that needs your attention. Or you're able to do the work that might not necessarily be higher level, but the stuff that better matches your skills within your business. So when we get the right team members in, we're then able to do other things. So for myself, getting my new team member in means I can take on more recruiting projects. It means that I have more time to go and do the networking and the other activities that are needed to bring in those new recruiting projects. I have time to do what I should be doing as that business owner and also as that recruiting lead on the projects versus spending a lot of time and that recruiting administrative work that a team member could 100% help me with. Once again, when we just talk about the cobbler's children have no shoes, I had to tell myself when I hit that roadblock of, well, can someone do these administrative tasks like I do? That of course someone can. Because if I can train business owners like you to hire well within your business, why can't I train a team member to do that? And of course, I also have the skills to go out and find and hire the team member that is best suited for that. So sometimes, even when we're the expert in something, we need to get out of our own way. So you might be the roadblock on why you don't have enough support in your business. It might be because you're looking at your financials wrong. It might be because you're scared. It might be because you're not seeing the benefits of bringing in that team member, and you need to take a step out and away from what work is this team member going to create for you and start looking at what benefit is this team member going to be for you. All right, so that's where we're going to wrap up today. And also just a little announcement. We are going to go on a little hiatus for the Growing Your Team podcast. We should be back. We did this last year. Around this time, October, we went on a little pause of releasing new episodes, got through the end of the year, and then relaunched after the new year. So we right now planning, hopefully, that the Growing Your Team podcast will be back after the new year. But this is also one of those things as business owners, we get to make the decisions on what we do in our business. And this time of year, the fall, is some of the busiest time for recruiting in small businesses. And so with having 5.5 years over 5.5 years of this podcast, almost 300 episodes. There's a lot of content out there that I know if you're looking for hiring support and you like learning through podcasts, there's a lot of content you can go back and listen to. And it gives me an opportunity to focus more on clients during this busy time of the year. So we're going to go on pause for a few months and we'll be back. And if you're sitting there and saying, well, Jamie, I've already listened to all your podcasts, I'm going to remind you right now of one of the things that I tell a lot of people when it comes to training. Think of your favorite movie, that movie that you've seen 5 times, 10 times, or even twice. I can almost guarantee that second time you watch that movie, you caught on to things that you didn't catch on to the first time. The movie was exactly the same. The scenes didn't change. The words didn't change. The facial expressions of the characters didn't change. Nothing changed. The movie was exactly the same, but you caught on to stuff that you missed the first time because your base level knowledge was different. So I encourage you over these next few months, while there's no new episodes coming out, go back and listen to some of the previous episodes. Find some of your favorites, give them another listen, and see if you learn anything new, especially if you've been hiring more in your business and practicing those skills more. You might find something new that will spark your knowledge and everything just because you have more hands-on experience. There might be that one aha moment that you didn't even know was an aha moment before because you didn't have the experience that would help produce that aha moment. All right, so that's it for now, and I'll see you back in a few months for new episodes of the Growing Your Team podcast. Are you ready to hire a new team member for your business and you want to ensure you hire the person who can succeed in the role, make you happy, and positively impact your bottom line? Then let's talk and see how growing your team can help you master the art of hiring. Through bespoke hiring frameworks and comprehensive guidance, you will learn how to attract candidates who have the passion you desire and the skills needed to succeed. At Growing Your Team, women entrepreneurs and leaders work with us to help them expand their unique businesses by teaching them how to hire like a pro. Let's connect and see how we can help you. Send me an email at jamie@growingyourteam.com. That's Jamie, Jamie, @growingyourteam.com, or head on over to growingyourteam.com/jumpstart, with jumpstart being all one word, and let's talk about how you can become a confident leader who hires right every single time.